Special Counsel Robert Mueller, who is leading an investigation into President Donald Trump and the ridiculous idea that his campaign colluded with Russia in the 2016 presidential election, was just dealt a crushing blow. This could ruin his entire case and finally put an end to the witch hunt. District Judge T.S. Ellis III lost his temper with Prosecutor Michael Dreeben and said that he was skeptical of the motives of the bank fraud case against former President Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. A case that was brought by Mueller, many believe, to pressure Manafort to testify against the president, The Washington Post reported. "You don't really care about Mr. Manafort's bank fraud," the judge said on Friday. "You really care about getting information Mr. Manafort can't give you that would reflect on Mr. Trump and lead to his prosecution or impeachment." Manafort and his attorneys were in court in an effort to get the charges against him dismissed. The judge's statement was a major win for Manafort and his team. The defense argued that the case had nothing to do with the president and that Manafort's case stood on its own. "We don't want anyone in this country with unfettered power. It's unlikely you're going to persuade me the special prosecutor has power to do anything he or she wants," District Judge T.S. Ellis III said. "The American people feel pretty strongly that no one has unfettered power." Prosecutor Michael Dreeben argued that the case against Paul Manafort dates back to before he worked for President Donald Trump. However, the angered judge fired back, "None of that information has to do with information related to Russian government coordination and the campaign of Donald Trump." Judge Ellis mimicked the prosecutor and questioned why the case against Manafort stayed in Virginia, but the case against President Trump's personal attorney, Michael Cohen, was referred to New York. The judge said that Mueller's team did that because it didn't further our core effort to get Trump. In a court filing this month, Manafort's defense attorneys, Kevin Downing and Thomas E. Zehnle, said that the charges against their client are a potpourri of purported misdeeds that have nothing to do with alleged coordination between the Trump campaign and the Russian government. Manafort has pleaded not guilty to all of the charges against him, including money laundering, making false statements, failing to follow lobbying disclosure laws, and working as an unregistered foreign agent. The charges are related to his work for a political party in Ukraine that is pro-Russian. Prosecutors argued that an investigation into collusion with President Trump's campaign and the Russians would naturally cover ties that a former Trump campaign manager had to Russian-associated political operatives, Russian-backed politicians, and Russian oligarchs. Judge Ellis, who was appointed by former President Ronald Reagan in 1987, was not impressed. His questioning of the prosecution's motives on Friday could be a major victory for Manafort and for the president. The judge ordered prosecutors to give him an unredacted copy of an August 2 memo from Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein that gave prosecutors the parameters of what criminal allegations the Mueller team could investigate. In other words, the judge wants to find out what Mueller is allowed to investigate and determine if they are overstepping their bounds in an attempt to get President Donald Trump. For the first time, a federal judge has called Mueller and his team out for being on a witch hunt against President Trump. They are going after Manafort, Cohen, and others for the purpose of finding something to use against President Trump. The question is, will the case against Manafort be dismissed on these grounds? And a greater question is, will other federal judges have the courage to do what Judge Ellis did by stating the truth, that is, staring everyone in the face?